We went 3-2 in our 5 premium sports picks on BrockPage.com yesterday. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at BrockPage.com. We're currently 5-0 in our last 5 board member tier package picks on BrockPage.com. And the good news is we have another board member tier package pick going off here this evening. We're also 9-2 in our last 11 Major League Baseball tier package picks on that very same website. We currently have over 920 members who were signed up and active on that page. And once again, if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on this channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at BrockPage.com. And of course, when it comes to Tuesday night's NHL slate, we're going to go ahead and start off with the Lightning taking on the Penguins, 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop. Tampa Bay's minus 130, totals 5.5. Andrei Vasilevsky in net for Tampa, Tristan Jarry for Pittsburgh. Now Jarry's 3-0 with a 147 goals against average. The 26-year-old also has a 943 save percentage. The Pens are currently in the top 10 in fewest goals. Let's try that again. The Pens are currently in the top 10 in fewest goals allowed per contest. They're also holding their opponents to only 29 shots on goal a game. Defenseman Marcus Pettersson's a plus 10 when he's on the ice. Meanwhile, offensively, O'Connor, Rodriguez, and Heinen, they all have 3 goals apiece. They're taking on a Tampa team who's on a 3-game losing streak and played, just last night, second of a back-to-back. The Lightning are in the bottom 3 in goals allowed per contest. Andrei Vasilevsky comes into today's start with a 313 goals against average and an 893 save percentage. Now, total-wise, 2 out of Tampa's last 3 road games got over the line, 4-2 to the over for the entire season. Meanwhile, the Pens saw 4 out of their last 5 get over the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward Pittsburgh plus $1.10 in the over 5.5. Next game, Flames, Devils, 7 o'clock Eastern start time. New Jersey's minus $1.15, total 6. Nico Dawes for the Devils, Daniel Vladar for Calgary. Now Vladar comes into today's contest with a 286 goals against average. The Flames are also on a 3-game winning streak, and they allow only 2.4 goals per contest for the entire season. Now offensively, Elias Lindholm's second in the NHL with 6 total goals. The center's also a plus 7. Calgary is averaging 37 shots on goal a game. They're taking on a Jersey club who's scoring just 2.7 goals a game themselves. Jersey's also in the bottom 10 in second period scoring. Now, total-wise, 3 out of the Devils' last 4 contests fell under the number. I'm going to lean toward Calgary, minus 105 in the under 6. Next game, Golden Knights, Avalanche, 8 o'clock Eastern puck drop. Colorado's minus 180, total 6. Darcy Kemper for Colorado. Robin Lehner for Vegas. But despite their current losing streak, Robin Lehner does come into today's contest with a 904 save percentage. The Knights are also in the top 5 in offensive shots. They're averaging 36 shots on goal a game. Chandler Stevenson's the team leader in points with 4 of them. They're taking on a Colorado team who lost 3 out of their last 4. And they rank in the bottom 5 in goals allowed per contest. The Avalanche are also allowing nearly 35 shots on goal a game. Darcy Kemper comes into today's contest with a 351 goals against average, 894 save percentage. When it comes to the scoring in this one, Colorado's 2-0 to the over on their home ice, 4-1 to the over for the entire season. Meanwhile, 3 out of Vegas' last 5 got over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Golden Knights plus 1.5 in the over 6. Next contest, Sharks, Preds, 8:30 Eastern start time. Nashville's minus 135, total 6. UC Saros for the Preds, James Reimer for San Jose. Now, Reimer's got a .65 goals against average and a .980 save percentage. The 4-1 Sharks are in the top 3 in fewest shots on goal allowed per contest. They're also giving up just 2.2 goals a game. Meanwhile, offensively, Logan Couture and Timo Meier, they both have 8 points apiece. Couture's a +8, which is 4th in the NHL. The Sharks are in the top 10 in the league in scoring. They're taking on a Nashville club who lost 3 out of their last 4 at home and failed to cash in on the puck line in all 4 of those home games. The Preds are also in the bottom 10 in second period goals allowed. UC Saros comes into today's game with a 1-4 record. Total-wise, Nashville's 3-1 to the under on their home ice. Give me San Jose plus $1.10 in the under 6. Next contest, Canadiens, Kraken, 10 o'clock East. Seattle's minus $1.15, totals 5.5. Philip Grubauer for the Kraken. Jake Allen for Montreal. Allen comes into today's game with a .264 goals against average and a .905 save percentage. And as much as they've struggled, the Canadiens are actually in the top 10 in defensive shots on goal. Defensemen Sami Niku and Brett Kulak, they're both +3 respectively. They're taking on a Seattle club who's on a 4-game losing streak and scored just 6 total goals during that stretch. Seattle's in the bottom 3 in offensive shots on goal. They're also scoring just 2.1 goals a game. Meanwhile, defensively, Philip Grubauer comes into today's contest with a 1-3 record and a .379 goals against average. Now, the 29-year-old netminder also has an .869 save percentage. Johansson and Yarncroke, they're both still out on the IR. Now, when it comes to the scoring in this one, 3 out of Seattle's last 4 failed to get over the posted number. Meanwhile, the Habs are 3-1 to the under in their last 4 themselves. I'm going to lean toward Montreal minus 105 in the under 5.5. Next contest, Jets, Ducks, 10 o'clock East. Winnipeg's minus 130, numbers 5.5. Connor Hellebuck for Winnipeg, John Gibson for Anaheim. But despite some pretty good numbers out of Gibson, the Ducks are on a 3-game losing streak, and they allowed 15 total goals during that span. Anaheim's currently in the bottom 3 in defensive shots on goal. Meanwhile, offensively, they're scoring only 2.8 goals a game. They're taking on a Winnipeg club who's on a 2-game winning streak. They certainly have had no problem scoring goals. Kyle Connor's 2nd in the NHL with 6 goals, 4th in the NHL with 9 total points. Meanwhile, defenseman Josh Morrissey is currently a +7. He's in the top 10 in the NHL in plus-minus. The Jets are currently in the top 10 in scoring on average per game. When it comes to the number in this one, 2 out of Winnipeg's last 3 road games got over the total. 4-1 at the over for the entire season. I'm going to lean toward Winnipeg minus 130 and the over 5.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our next and final matchup. It is going to be Wild versus the Canucks, 10 o'clock Eastern start time. Both teams are minus $1.10, totals 5.5. Cam Talbot for Minnesota, Thatcher Demko for Vancouver. Despite some really good numbers out of Demko, the Canucks are still in the bottom 10 in first period goals allowed. As a matter of fact, it seems like Vancouver just gets off to a slow start because offensively they're in the bottom 3 in first period scoring as well. They're taking on a 4-1 Minnesota club who won both of their road games this year. In addition to that, the Wild is currently leading the NHL in offensive shots on goal. Matt Zuccarello's got 6 points thus far in the season. Kirill Kaprizov with 5. Meanwhile, defensively, Minnesota's holding their opponents to just 28 shots on goal a game. Cam Talbot's a perfect 4-0 in the season with a .268 goals against average. The 34-year-old veteran also has a .904 save percentage. Now, total-wise, Minnesota's last 3 straight got over the number. Meanwhile, Vancouver saw 3 out of their last 5 get over the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward Minnesota minus $1.10 and the over 5.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we are 5-0 in our last 5 board member tier package picks. I like Pittsburgh plus $1.10 over 5.5. Calgary minus 105 under 6. Vegas Golden Knights plus 1.5 over 6 goals. San Jose plus $1.10 under 6. Montreal minus 105 under 5.5. Winnipeg minus 130 over 5.5. Before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 5-0 in our last 5 board member tier package picks on brockpage.com. We're also 9-2 in our last 11 Major League Baseball tier package picks on that very same website. I'm going to lean toward Minnesota minus $1.10 in the over 5.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our shout out of the day. And that's going to go to FD, who said earlier this morning, let's go. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on brockpage.com. If you guys do end up getting a membership here today on that website, just keep in mind that you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today, you are going to get access to that content through the end of October. But I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month that you sign up, the better. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at brockpage.com.